after the exam was done, so we were called in and everyone was told you're going to continue or you're going down. When you're in the hospital, you have to work morning shifts, you have to work afternoon shifts, and also the night shifts. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you for your messages even on Facebook. So today I'm continuing with the video that I started about my nursing study experience as a foreigner here in Germany. So I stopped at the place where I was talking about our exams. We were supposed to do our exams. Remember we started our school on the 1st of September, and then at the end of September we had to do an exam, and I was like, guys, how do we even write an exam? It was like we went to school for 2 weeks, and then the 2 weeks we were in the wards working full time. So it's like, I was like, what do you people want to, what exam are you guys going to give us? I was like, this one is too early, but they said no, this is how they determine. Because remember guys, when you sign a contract in Germany, you have, especially this nursing contract, we had 6 months time. The 6 months time, it was probation time, and then after 6 months they were deciding who should continue with the studies and who will come out. So they had to do the exams with us. We did the exams after 4 weeks. We did a written exam. It was about the topic that we had covered, about the heart, the nursing steps that you have to do when you have a patient with heart problems. So we did that exam, and it was really, really good. It came out to be very, very good. I was so happy, and that one even made me have more power to continue, because remember guys, I told you it was not easy for me in the class as a foreigner. When I sat down and I was really learning at home, I really took my time. Any free time I had, I sat down and tried to learn a lot. I tried to watch a lot of videos even on YouTube about the topics that we had covered. They really helped me. So when I did the exam, it was really perfect. I was so happy. Then there was another exam, and that exam was the oral exam, mündliche Prüfung, that's how we call it here. So the mündliche Prüfung was a bit hectic for me, because first of all, I didn't know where to start. Remember, we are only 4 weeks in the school. I didn't know what to do and what to say, so I was kind of a bit confused. Remember guys, you're standing in front of like 4 teachers and then they will be asking you the questions about the anatomy of the heart. The other one will ask you about how you're going to nurse the patient with this kind of illness, and what advices you can give the patient and all these things. So I really didn't have a plan of how to go about it, and that is what made me have kind of, the marks were not so good for me. After that, I asked the teacher and I told them that I've never had these oral exams in Kenya, so they should try and guide me and tell me what I should be doing. That oral exam, what I can say is maybe if you're given like a disease, let's say like diabetes, you have to define the disease. The second thing is like you have to say maybe the organs that are most affected, and then you have to give the symptoms. You have to give you have to say maybe the patients who are more in this risk factor, and then you have to give the symptoms of diabetes. You have to also talk about the diagnostic side of the diabetes. The diagnostic, of course, is the doctor who does it, but you as a nurse also must know when a patient comes and says maybe I feel thirsty most of the time, I drink a lot, and I also go and urinate a lot. So these are some of those diagnostic factors that you as a nurse, you must know to take care of this patient. So it was like you have to say the definition, you have to talk about where the organs which are affected by these diseases are. You have to talk about the symptoms, you have to talk about the therapy and all those things. So it is like a nice plan written down. Be careful when you're going to do the mündliche Prüfung. That is how you should follow every step. But when you have this written plan, then it will really guide you to talk about whatever you're talking about. So that was the major mistake. I didn't have this plan, so I mixed everything up, and at the end of the day, I didn't get good marks, but it was okay. It was the first time, so the teachers understood that and they guided me. As I said, the second exam was really okay. And then from there we were now sent back to the wards. We stayed there like 2 months and we really learned a lot. And the nurses at the wards, some of them were like, we don't want anything to do with students. This kind of, this behavior, you already see it. Some of them, you come in the morning and say good morning, they will not even mind you. Guys, don't lose hope. This is Germany. Some of them already have their own problems back home, or private problems. So sometimes when you come as a foreigner and you greet them and you see like they are not reacting to you, don't feel so bad and think that maybe they have something against you. Try your best to be asking questions. I know right now, me, I'm a qualified nurse, and I know when a student comes to me and asks me something, for me, I really try to explain to the person. I really try to also give them my time. You guys, you already know that in Germany here, nurses have a lot of work to do. We are working, some of us are working 9 hours a day. Yeah, we have patients who are waiting for us, and especially now during Corona time, it's like we really have a lot of work to do. Most of our colleagues also are very sick. Some of them cannot work for the next coming months, so the only nurses who are left there really have to do more than even we were doing before. Next, for us in the wards, they used to divide the students, each student maybe with one nurse, or maybe 2 students with one nurse. And then when you go to the room in the morning, just try and ask questions. What medicines are they getting? Try and ask, what does this patient have? If maybe they have anywhere some wounds that are not so difficult to nurse, maybe you can try and ask. Especially if you have done, please remember, you do things that you have already done in the theory. You don't do things practical if you have not covered them in the school. Try and watch the documentations. What are they writing when they are going, when the doctors come to go for the visit? Just try and follow them. Try and listen to what the doctors are telling the patients. You will learn a lot. I know some nurses might be like, you are too nagging, following me everywhere, but hey, this is your time to learn, and this is the only opportunity you have. Remember, in these 3 years, you will go to many wards. So if you lose some hours in one ward that you could have covered and watched and seen, then my people, maybe you might not come back to the same ward again. So it means when you're coming for the exams, you don't know which ward you're going to be, and maybe you never got enough experience in that ward. You're really going to have a difficult time. So we went back to the wards, and guys, remember these kids, the way I used to call them, the kids, my fellow students, the way they used to point foreigners, saying this one will not make it, this one will not make, this one will not make it. I'm telling you, my guys, when the exams came and it came out, most of us foreigners were the top, because we already know this struggle mode from back home, the way we used to cram and learn a lot, wake up very early in the morning. For them, they are too young. Some of them, even that weekend before we came to do the exams, some of them, they were somewhere in the discos partying and all this, so they didn't have enough time to learn. So when the exam came out and they were like, hey, so you guys have made it, and they were like, how do you people learn? And some of us have kids and all that. So take your time and learn. Don't listen to their negativity. They themselves, they are the ones who are going to fail, not you. Because you know how to struggle. You know how we used to learn back home for our exams. So when you apply that one, it's really going to help you. This party and all those occasions, you're going to have enough time for them after the 3 years. Right now, when someone invites me for anywhere, even when I want to travel somewhere, I really don't care, because I know no matter how it is, I will always have my job. Whether my employer is okay with me or not, I always know that today, if I leave this job, tomorrow I have a new one. This is how sweet it is when you have a course that is really needed, especially in this country. Guys, remember, right now during Corona time, we nurses, we never ever lacked job. We had a lot of work. For me, sometimes I was working for 10 hours a day, and our payment is okay. We are happy. Okay, we could have wished for more, but guys, it depends with which department you're going to work. if you stay in the hospital, the payment maybe might not be the same as outside somewhere else. And right now we have a lot of companies who have opened. They are giving good money, even better than some of the hospitals. You really have to check, and then you also have to kind of try and learn something on top. Maybe if you have done the nursing, maybe try and specialize yourself in something like respiratory nurse. That is what I've done myself, and this one is even a bonus on top. And right now, because of corona, and we have a lot of patients now who are on the machines, it's like anywhere they are just calling you. And for us, the respiratory nurses, it's like the government went to put our names in every city. I don't know from other cities, but our city, it was like that. Our employers were asked for those nurses, and then the names were put down, that in case of anything, the way it went to happen in Italy, that many people got so much sick and they needed the machines and all that. So they need the profits of these machines. So our names were put down. So in case of anywhere that they really need people who are more experienced in this kind of respiratory issues, then they can always call us. We always have this bonus. We always have a lot of, when you go for night shift, you have more money on top. When you go for weekends, you have more money on top. Guys, this is a job. Don't listen to people saying that, oh, all Africans do nursing. No, I used to say every day that everybody came here with their own passion, and you don't do something because others are doing it. You do it because you are doing it from your heart. Because this nursing thing also, it's not something that you should do only for money. My people, it's not easy. You must do it from your heart. You must love your job. You must love what you're doing. When you're waking up in the morning, you must wake up with a smile, knowing that you're going to do something that you love. After that, the 6 months, then the 1 year finished very, very fast. It went so fast, I could not believe it. The second year came. That is when now you start learning about all the diseases. It's already planned what kind of lessons you will get. And then the third year came. That is when now the doctors started coming to the class, and then they would teach us a lot of things, and it was really good. I really enjoyed that time of school. I really did enjoy. We went also for seminars. We had seminars about death and trauer, and how do they call it, Tod und Trauer, about death and how to go about it, even for us and as nurses, because we are dealing with a job where a lot of patients, we have to lose them, some of them being young, some kids, some being old enough, and we also have to learn how to go about all these things. So we had that seminar. We went there for almost, I think it was 1.5 weeks. We had our time, and people also had the time also to talk about themselves. Okay, sorry, let me go back a bit. After the second year, we did one exam. That exam was to determine, it was to give you it was like to show you how the main exam is going to be. It was called Zwischenprüfung. It's an exam which is in the middle, like 1.5 years, and then you do that exam, and then you have 1.5 years now to finish. So that Zwischenprüfung, you had to prepare everything yourself in the wards. You got your patients, so it was like stimulating exam to the main exam. It was very, very good, so you could learn what maybe you didn't do well, so that you have the time now to learn more and then prepare for your main exams. For the main exams, after the 3 years, before the 3 years finished, so we got our appointments where we are going to do the main exams. We had our theory, and we had we had our mündliche Prüfungen. Those are the oral exams. And then at the end, we had to do the praktische exam. That is where now you have to prove yourself to the best. This is where you are now standing alone. Either you kill this patient or you save the life of the patient. So it was like, let me say, for me, it was like I got 3 patients, and those 4 patients, sorry, there were 2 rooms. So 2 patients, 2 patients. So one of them was completely lying in the bed. He could not move himself. And then he had also amputation of the legs. So I had to do a lot of things. You have to do the Pflegeplanung. You have to do everything. You have to check the medicine that they are taking. You must know why are they taking this kind of medication. I also had another patient with cancer. She was getting chemotherapy. I had to know what kind of chemotherapy it was and the effects that could come later, and what I have to watch as a nurse when she's getting that chemotherapy, and all the medication she was getting that had to be stopped before maybe coming to get the chemo. And because of the 3 years of school, so we had a lot of tips of how to go about it. We had a lot of nursing guidance who used to come and try and show us a lot of things of what we should do in our main exam. So it's like you have the 4 patients, you prepare a day before. You prepare the Pflegeplanung of all the patients. One of them even was supposed to go home on that day. She had a wound, so I had to dress her wounds before she leaves. I had to give her some materials to go home because she was almost on weekend. So I had to think about giving her the materials to go home before maybe she can go to the pharmacy and get her new materials. And then I had to do the Entlassungs management. It's like how you discharge the patient, what she's supposed to go with, and what advice you have to give her, where you have to send her maybe from the hospital. Some of them they go back to their homes. Some of them they go to the home care institutions. So you have to manage everything. You have to call the transport who is coming to pick the patient. You have to inform the institutions where they are going back, if they are going back to the institutions. So those are the kind of things that I had to do in my exam. I remember one patient, I went to check her blood sugar and it was down. So I had to see what I have to do for her to, for the blood sugar to be normal again. So this is where now the test comes. The teacher is already watching. Are you going to let this person go down with her blood sugar until something happens, or are you going to save her life? So the other thing is, when you make a mistake, we are humans. You can make a mistake, but you should not make a mistake that is going to endanger the life of this patient that you're taking care of. If you make some small mistakes, maybe you did not change your gloves, maybe you did not disinfect your hands or something, or maybe you did not change the clothes that you are wearing, the Schutzkleidung. Just note that in your head, and then, because after the exams the teacher gives you chance, you will just sit down with the teacher, and then she will tell you, she will give you chance first of all before she says her side. Then you have to say that, oh, maybe here and here I did not change my glass. I was supposed to disinfect more. Maybe I disinfected too much than I was supposed to. And that one, it will also save you, because they will see like, okay, she knows what she did and she knows what she was doing. So don't be afraid of that. They are all human beings. And after the 3 years, we had now our graduation day. And funny enough, it was like the graduation day, but we have not gotten the results. So we were getting the results, and then after the results we go to the hall and go and graduate. And I was like, Jesus, why are you doing this to us? So most of these students, we had a WhatsApp group, as I said before. They were writing, oh, I've bought a suit, I've bought a nice dress. They will post it on the WhatsApp, and me, I'm like, even I don't know if I'm going to make it. Of course you trust yourself, but human, we are like that. Even I went to mute the WhatsApp group because I was like tired myself. I just woke up and wore a normal dress, and I was like, let me just go. For them, some of them, they came with suits, those ones who had already trusted themselves too much, and they are the people who are pointing people like, you will not make it, this one will not make it, this one will not make it. My dear ones, the same people who are pointing fingers, especially on foreigners, saying that they are not going to make it, they failed their exams like thunder. It's like, I was shocked. They trusted themselves too much. They really messed up. And then at the end of it, the student is like half of the class. I think we were, I don't want to say the number. I think we were more than 15 people who passed, and the others, like 10 people failed in my class. In the other class, it was the same. The half passed, the half failed. And I really got my results, and I remember I knelt in front of, there were some doctors, there were our teachers, we had someone from the government who came now to give us the certificate, and I just went down with my knees and I told God, thank you, Jesus, for taking me through this journey. It is not for granted, guys. It was a hard 3 years of hard work and patience. I remember in my class, I was the only African who made it to the exams, and I was the only African who passed the exams, and I thank God for that. I don't really take it for granted, and especially me having a child at home also, it was also a lot of time for me, and a lot of hard work, extra work. It's like double work more than the other people who didn't have kids. That's how the 3 years finished, and yeah, I am qualified. I have specialized myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'm always proud of myself. That 100%. I used to say every day, if you have never sat in the class for 3 years in Germany and gone through this process, then you don't know why people used to talk about it. Then you don't know why people used to be happy about it. This one is not bragging. This one is like, Jesus, how did I even make it? And right now, I gain a lot of respect when I go to the wards, when I'm talking to the doctors. I feel so privileged. And you are foreigners, we used to be seen to be so small and we cannot do it. But when you go and talk to them and you know what you learned, and you come and bring those your fach, we call them Fachwörter and everything, then they are like, okay, I didn't expect this from you. The other thing is, when you have your family and kids and all that, it's like even when they go to the hospital or something happens to them and you go there, even the way you talk. I remember there was one time my son was having diarrhea and we went to the hospital and they were doing some things, and I was standing there with the dad and the nurses were doing some things. I was just keeping quiet. Most of the time I don't tell them that I'm a nurse because I want them to know I'm just a normal parent. So they did some things and I was like, guys, this what you're doing here, it's like you're going to really mess it out. And they came to watch me and I told them one word. The word comes out automatic. It's like I didn't want to tell them the fach. We call it Fachwörter. I didn't want to tell them, but it just came out, slided out of my tongue. And then later the doctor came and was like, sind Sie vom Fach? It's like, are you a qualified person? Because the way you are talking to us is like, I think you have more ideas than even us. Then I was like, yeah, I'm a nurse. And then later it's like everything changed. So anytime they were coming to check on him, you will see they were die waren ganz anders. That is how I will say it in German. They changed the way they were talking to me. They changed the way they were even handling my son. This one is the truth. I don't know if any of you have gotten this experience, but this is my experience. The moment they know that you're coming from that side, it's like they change their color, they change everything, they change the way they are treating you. And I thank God for that. Thank you guys for, I don't want this video to be so long. That was my journey, and here I am. You who is sitting there and doing your nursing journey and experience, please don't give up. Everything will be fine, and at the end of it, you're going to smile and you're going to enjoy the fruit of your labor. If you have any questions, you have any tips that you need from me, and or maybe even to give me some tips, me too, I'm still learning, please don't hesitate to contact me. Most of you know me on Facebook. You can contact me on my messenger as usual. Thank you for the students who have been contacting me and those students that I'm still in contact with. God bless you all, and you shall make it. We made it, you will make it. That is how you should see it. Okay, guys? It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Thank you so much. Much love. Take care of yourselves, and mwah.